Hello everyone, this is Angela here. It's me, I'm back. I bet you thought I was gone for good, but I'm not. Okay, I needed to take some time off because I got a lot going on in my life, mostly positive, some things not so positive. Um, but today I want to talk about narcissism and why narcissists literally self-destruct. One of the reasons why narcissists self-destruct is because of their magical thinking. And I have done a video on magical thinking. I'll link that video in the description box if you want to check that one out. And this is one of the primary reasons why they self-destruct. Um, but another reason why they self-destruct, or in other words, blow themselves up, is due to them being in crisis mode. And when they get in crisis mode, they live in the moment, okay? They don't think about the long-term outcome or the um the consequences of their decisions. And this could be very devastating for themselves and also for other people that are involved with them. And this includes interpersonal relationships and their children. Okay, it can also affect their children, minor children I'm talking about. So I'm going to tell you this story just to point out the destruction, how they self-destruct, and literally just make their lives a train wreck. And this story involves my son, who I strongly suspect is a narcissist, not just have narcissistic traits, but full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. I have accepted my son for who he is. I still love my son because I'm his mother, but he's too toxic to have a healthy relationship with. So I have decided to just simply go extremely low contact, bordering on no contact, with him because um I've become a train wreck when I'm around him. Like, my anxiety level goes up and I just can't function on my job. I have anxiety. I almost got into a car accident, different things like that. So yeah, it's not good being around him, but that's okay. I accept him for who he is, and I still love him and I still pray for him. He's my son. Um, what had happened was my son was involved in a long-term relationship with a woman. Okay. She is the mother of my son's child, my oldest grandson. I currently have three grandchildren, one by his first baby mama and two by the second baby mama. And what had happened was, before he met the second baby mama, the first baby mama, after 13 years of narcissistic abuse and some physical abuse, he had thrown a beer bottle at her, and she her self-esteem was so shattered by the time she left him. She had to go to therapy, and she had to get away from him. And she did. But but within the first year or two of her getting away from him, she had he was trying to hoover her back because he didn't want to pay the child support, and because he was terrible at managing his money. She's also not good with managing money. She has bad credit, but she's not a narcissist. She just has other issues and has bad credit. So one of her issues is employment problems and self-esteem issues, I would say, is one of her problems. And that was mainly due to narcissistic abuse, I would say. Yeah. So he's trying to hoover her back, right? And it, basically, he's not only a narcissist, but he's a covert narcissist who's very codependent. Okay. Um, you know, he thrives on, he's very codependent. He needs somebody to, uh, basically, he's a magnet for an abuser himself, a magnet for somebody who is very controlling, domineering type personality, to where his covert narcissism hides behind an overt narcissist, sorry. So back to the story. Anyway, so he's trying to woo her back. He's dating this other girl in the interim, trying to figure out which one is going to rescue him. So, but he was pushing hard for baby mama. So what he does, so she needs a car because she moved there. She actually moved like far from him. I would say it's about 45-minute drive with no traffic, from him. So she turns around and she needs a car. And she can't get a car because she has bad credit. So he decided that he was going to co-sign for her. And he was seeing this other girl who he was not really committed to. Well, yeah, he was, because he was like love bombing this second woman that he got involved with, who had 3 children. So he's love bombing her and trying to get her to move in. And she's normal and healthy and saw this as a red flag, and it's like, I'm not uprooting my children. I'm not moving in. It's too soon. No. And she backed away. So he dumped her, and like he's trying to go back with the first baby mama. He's hitting hard for that one because the second one dumped him. And what had happened with first baby mama, he did sign for the car, and he thought he had it in the bag where she was going to come back. And she said, I'm not coming back. She goes, she started falling for the love bombing a little bit, but she's like, I want to take my time to see if this is real, because this wasn't her first rodeo with him. So then he starts getting into crisis mode, and he starts dating a third woman, okay, which is the woman that he's with now. And he pulls his shenanigans on her, and guess what? He gets her pregnant. And so she decides, oh yeah, like she comes in, like they had just met. They met in May, and by September she was pregnant. And then, she comes in and she's like, oh, like in his house, oh, we're going to remodel this kitchen. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to that. Like she's calling the shots, very domineering, very controlling, highly narcissistic herself. It's like two narcs meet, and there you go. One toxic explosion of a relationship. hmm So baby mama number one saw the writing on the wall and went totally no contact. I mean, it's like, other than co-parenting my grandson, meaning my son is to pick up his child on his designated time, pick up, drop off, that's it. They don't communicate with each other. They don't like co-parent together. They don't do anything because he's too toxic. So Miss Miss Second Baby Mama, okay, has another child by him. Okay, so now he's got 3 kids. And she's happy with the house that they're living in because the house is crowded with 3 children. Like my grandson's there on the weekends, he has to have his own bedroom. And the kids need their own bedroom because it's a boy and a girl. And they don't have enough space. he wants to move. So I know that she has the whip and, the whip on him. Okay, baby mama number two has the whip on him about straightening out his credit. Okay, he says, she says jump, and he says how high. You know how, like, when somebody's nuts, when a guy's nuts are snipped by a domineering and controlling woman? Yeah, it's her way or the highway. hmm Um, she, so what had happened was the co-signing of the car loan became an issue because baby mama number one did not make the car payments. And that damaged his credit, and he's unable to get a mortgage. And do you see how their manipulations and their lies come back and they end up blowing themselves up? So now he's stuck with three kids, and he's got to pay for these three kids, and he's stuck with a woman whom he hates. And how do I know that he hates her? Because ironically, he still stays in touch with the girl that he dated that had the two kids, the three kids. Oh my God, I can't keep up with these women. He still is in touch with her because they're still like, he still like talks to her on Facebook or whatever, and she pretty much tells him to go pound sand, but she just kind of laughs at his story. She knows he's a narcissist, but she listens to his nonsense, and she's a nice person, and we talk and we just laugh about. I don't really laugh about it. Like, I just shake my head and I just said I'm staying out of it, and I'm not offering any financial help. Absolutely not. Um, he had tried to hoover me into his relationship with his baby mama, like talking negative to me about how they had a fight, and I'm sitting here listening to details of what he said. And I just said, my answer to that was, I just said, I would just give her space and I hope it all works out for you. I really don't want to be involved. And, you know, that's the only way that you can cope with it. Now, it had gotten to the point where his shenanigans, like when he pulls his stunts, he uses the kids to pull these stunts. And then, because you got to understand that those kids, from the narcissist point of view, those kids are his personal property. They're not individual human beings with needs and their own lives. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're small children, they are they um their feelings need to be taken into consideration. My oldest grandson is 11 years old now, and he's very depressed because he hears my son say disparaging things about his mother. And it's just so toxic. And it's like, I refuse to get involved. It's like I found myself uh, dodging the bullet of falling down into the rabbit hole of narcissistic abuse with him. And I've decided that I was going to go very, very, very low contact. We're not going to have holiday dinners. We're not going to have birthday parties. We're not going to have grandma taking the kids to McDonald's or to see, the Christmas tree lighting and doing all those things like other people do. Not because I don't want to. Not because I don't want to, but because those kids are so controlled that at any given moment, as soon as the narcissist gets a real or an imagined narcissistic injury that he blames me for because everything is always everybody else's fault, then it's like, no, you can't see your grandchildren. And the first time that it happened, I wasn't permitted to see my grandchildren for a whole year. I missed my granddaughter's first birthday. And to his girlfriend, another narcissist, that was perfectly fine with her. What was my crime? My only crime was I interrupted her during a wedding ceremony because I wasn't told that they were at a wedding ceremony, and I was texting her finally to asking when am I going to be able to drop off my grandson from skating. It makes no sense, but you know, to get the full story on that, watch it on my next video, my last video. So yeah, so now I hope my story, shows you why they don't listen to common sense and they ultimately blow themselves up. It's because of their magical thinking, and it's because they're in crisis mode. And when they're in crisis mode, they're not thinking that, oh, what's going to happen if she doesn't go back? Of course, she's going to go back with me. Of course, I'm so awesome and superior that how could she not? Well, yeah, narcissists are ridiculous. Have a nice day, everybody. Take care.